this fall.
Now at 6, a local power crew tasked with getting the lights back on along the Gulf Coast is home. Plus, Little Balkans Days is in full swing. We'll check out some of the fun.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Volunteers returned to Carthage today after almost a week helping those affected by Hurricane Ida. This is KOAM News at 6. KOAM's Bronte Sorotsky spoke with the crew members on their relief efforts and how they feel to have made such an impact after such a damaging event.
After a week of 12-plus-hour days spent restoring power to those following the devastation of Hurricane Ida, volunteer crews are returning home.
I mean, in an event like this where we have a hurricane, we have all of this forewarning, knowing that it's coming, and the level of the hurricane and the strength of it allows us to position people in a proper place, ready to go when it actually does hit land and cause the destruction. So we were ready to go.
Volunteers from Carthage Water and Electric Plant spent almost a week repairing storm damage caused by Ida.
We have, I think Carthage Water and Electric has 80 plus employees. And I think at any given moment we have 80 volunteers willing to go help and do their part. And for me, there's a great sense of pride in not only in our employees but our community that we're willing to help.
Most of their work was focused on rebuilding lines that were damaged or taken out by the storm.
We had a lot of broken poles, down poles. We had a lot of broken wire. We had trees that were down on top of lines, and so basically we were just rebuilding. The pole structures and the lines that the storm had taken out.
The team's lead foreman says even after working from 6 a.m. until 8 at night, there were times when people were still in need and their crew wanted to be of assistance.
We were pretty dehydrated and tired, and I remember a lady and her 2 kids rode up on a 4-wheeler and they just needed their power back on. So, we stayed and made sure that we got that back on. We were wanting to go home, but we stayed. That definitely made an impression on all of us.
Now, the company says they're extremely proud of their volunteers, providing these essential services to communities in need. In Carthage, Bronte Sorotsky, KOAM News.
Crews from Carthage worked alongside other area crews from Independence, Lebanon, Nixa, and Poplar Bluff. Well, this weekend is Labor Day weekend, of course, and in Pittsburgh, the big weekend for Little Balkans Days. KOAM's Zach Dodge has a rundown of what's happening tonight and how you can find out about the weekend.
The Little Balkans Festival started around a week ago, but this weekend is the big unofficial kickoff to the festival. At the Pittsburgh Farmers Market tonight is the Food Truck Festival and Downtown Celebration. And at the Meadowbrook Mall in the parking lot is the first ever Drag the Gut car show. And you better believe that's barely scratching the surface on the fun this weekend.
We're so excited for people to come out. We've had a great response online and Facebook. You can always purchase a button. If you want to support the festival, it's a $5 donation. Gets you into everything and really pays it forward for next year.
The festival continues through Sunday and wraps up with a concert by 80s cover band Members Only. You can find the full schedule on our website or on littlebalkansfestival.com. So be sure to come out to Pittsburgh and enjoy the weekend. Reporting in Pittsburgh, Zach Dodge, KOAM News.
Looks like a lot of fun. Zach, thank you. And hopefully the weather's going to hold. Nick Kelly joins us with what we can expect.
I know we've been seeing a little bit of a break in the action so far, Chris, after we had to start the day out with some scattered rain, even a couple of thunderstorms as well. Joplin, we're looking dry for the time being from our vantage point at 7th range line, but a jog to the north is picking up on clouds from a couple of showers that have actually managed to develop. I think we can get a tighter look because these are the more prevalent showers on the board. We've got one north and west of Oswego around the 160 and 59. We have one south and west of Pittsburgh, let's say around Weir and Scammon. And then this one between Thorne and Baseline Road west of Jasper. But these are just a few isolated showers. I still think we're all dry for this evening to start things out. But a frontal boundary to the north, coupled with upper level energy causing the storms out west. We're not done with our rain chances just yet. Temperature wise, we're in the mid 80s to lower 90s across much of the region. Feels like about 100 in some spots, but as the rain chances ramp up, we'll go from a hot evening, Chris, to lows back near 75. Will this be an issue for the entire holiday weekend? We'll break that answer down for you here in a bit.
All right, Nick, thank you. Before we get to today's other news, we have a somber notice to share with you. Here's Now Quick.
We have heartbreaking news today. Christian Heddy, the son of meteorologist Doug Heddy, has died. Christian's battle with cancer ended at home, where he was surrounded by family. Since Christian's cancer diagnosis more than a year ago, many of you who never personally met Christian came to feel a personal connection to him. Thousands who followed Christian's journey on social media saw him express the joys and hopes of a well-loved 12-year-old with humor and courage beyond his years. Over these months, countless numbers of you, both friends and strangers, have reached out to the family with encouragement, well wishes, and prayers. The family has always expressed gratitude for your kindness, and we know they feel it today. For those of you who would like to leave a personal message to the family, we've provided a link through our website, koamnewsnow.com. Again, Christian Heddy was 12 years old.
An LGBTQ exhibit in Missouri has been removed after several complaints. The traveling exhibit covers LGBTQ activist history in Kansas City. It was up for 4 days in the Missouri State Museum inside of the state capitol before it was removed. A Republican state lawmaker posted on social media about the display. The next day, he said it was gone.
To strip them out of our state capitol after 4 days because a handful of people were offended to see the truth is offensive. It should be offensive to all Missourians, and it's certainly offensive to me.
According to Governor Mike Parson's office, the Board of Public Buildings did not approve the exhibit, and the governor's office was not even aware of it until after they received complaints. The Missouri Department of Resources announced today that the exhibit has been relocated for display at the Lohman Building, part of the Jefferson Landing State Historic Site. Two of the industry's biggest poultry companies have agreed to pay nearly $35 million to settle a lawsuit that accused them and several other firms of conspiring to dominate the industry and fix the prices paid to farmers who raise the chickens. TYSON Foods and Purdue Farms agreed to the settlements last week without admitting any wrongdoing, while the lawsuit remains pending against several other industry giants, including Pilgrim's Pride, Koch Foods, and Sanderson Farms. The lawsuit says the contract grower system the meat companies created pushed them deep into debt to build and maintain chicken barns that met company standards. Lawsuits were filed today challenging a mask mandate for students and staff in elementary schools in Kansas' most populous county, and another mandate requiring everyone 5 and older in a small rural county to mask. The suits, filed against officials in Johnson County and in the Kansas City area and smaller Morris County, are believed to be the first since the state Supreme Court granted a stay last week allowing enforcement of a pandemic-inspired law. The law allows those who oppose mask requirements or restrictions on public gatherings imposed by Kansas counties to challenge them in a court and obtain a ruling within 10 days. Later, it's Friday night in the 4 states, and football is back in Kansas. We'll preview Frontenac's matchup with Columbus in sports.
But first, we'll break down the rest of the holiday forecast, including how long these rain chances want to stick around. We'll get to it next.
Don't miss Ashley Holmes Performing Arts in Branson.
Even with some scattered rain and storms kicking back into gear as we get this holiday weekend started, some of us had to deal with quite a hot start to the weekend, certainly following the heels of our hot Thursday yesterday. At least lower 90s for afternoon highs. We dropped back to about 73 so far this morning, and actually the hottest we've been, a little bit hotter compared to yesterday, at least at last check. 93 degrees so far at Joplin Regional in terms of the highest point we've seen the mercury rise to today. But again, that's despite the cloud cover, plenty of it in place, and not to mention the rain and thunderstorms that really seem to accumulate on the Kansas side so far today, especially during the morning hours. Area-wide averages just 0.3 of an inch of rain, but you can see how the heavier pockets range anywhere from ½ an inch to almost 3 inches of rainfall. And we're not done with our rain chances just yet, unfortunately. We had a pretty quiet late afternoon and start to our Friday evening, but you can see with the latest frames on the radar, you can see a couple showers trying to get their act together, but these are fairly isolated. But still, a heads up if you're traveling south of Pittsburgh on 69. We still got a heavy shower that wants to quickly work over Jasper, but I still think even with these around, we can get most of these football games in tonight before they really ramp back up overnight, leading to these flash flood watches for southeast Kansas and southwest Missouri until Saturday evening. Sure sign that we're not done with our rain chances yet. Maybe some heavy rain to come down the chute. In the meantime, though, we're at 92 in Joplin. We're dry. We're quite muggy. That 72-degree dew point makes it feel like 99 degrees outside. Whether you're in the mid-80s or lower 90s, the humidity is making it feel like we're all either in the mid-90s to about the lower triple digits in a couple of spots. Fortunately, though, as the rain chances ramp back up, primarily after the final snap tonight, we'll see temperatures fall near 80 by midnight and down to the mid-70s. So why are we not done with these rain chances just yet? You can kind of see it already with the way the winds is set up at the surface on the Skywatch Storm Tracker. At the surface, we've got our front of the boundary still slowly inching along toward the south and east. Not to mention some upper level dynamics coming into play, including a bit of upper level energy coming along the jet as it tries to sink back near the region. That is setting us up for, again, those couple of isolated showers that we see maybe over the next few hours. But once we get past 8:30, 9, 10 o'clock, we're going to see more scattered rain and thunderstorms take us into Saturday morning and continue off and on throughout the day. And the main emphasis of the rain will start to shift toward our southern counties by Saturday afternoon and evening. Despite all the rain chances, though, I think we'll be at 75 in the morning, 86 by noon, and pushing afternoon highs around 90 degrees. A few lingering showers and storms could try to hold on to start Sunday morning out, but we're going to look a lot better by Sunday and Monday, certainly with highs pushing back into the lower 80s on your Sunday afternoon. But as far as rain chances over the next 2 days are concerned, anywhere from 1/10 of an inch on the low end to maybe 1 inch to almost 2 inches of rain. Fortunately, though, it does get better before we wrap up this holiday weekend. 82 degrees on Sunday with some lingering morning rain and storms. And 87, mostly sunny on your Labor Day. 91 on Tuesday, Chris, but with drier air working in, we can have lows back near 60, especially by Thursday morning, and quick jump into the mid-80s for Wednesday and Thursday.
Not a bad looking week overall. I mean, considering it's the first week of September, it could be a lot worse.
Yeah, all we need to do is just get past the rain chances tonight, Saturday, and Sunday morning. Then we're looking good.
All right, Nick, thank you so much. Well, Southeast Kansas is spared from a drought watch issued by the state. Kansas Governor Laura Kelly has declared 87 of the state's 105 counties under a drought watch or warning. 14 counties were placed under warnings and 73 are under drought watches. The 18 counties not affected are all in Southeast Kansas. Well, coming up in sports tonight is opening night for Kansas high school football. Jacob Leonard will join us live to preview a big Week 1 showdown between Frontenac and Columbus after the break.
Well, tonight is the opening night of the season for Kansas high school football. Now we're starting with a big one here in Southeast Kansas with the Frontenac Raiders hosting the Columbus Titans. Now, Danny Terzer gives us a look at this big CNC matchup in Week 1.
Rematch between CNC rivals Columbus and Frontenac has been looming for a long time.
Our kids have heard about it all summer long from kids from Frontenac, people in Frontenac, that they're extremely fired up to play us because, of course, we did get a win last year, so we don't expect them to overlook us by any stretch.
The Titans topped the Raiders 25-6.
Last year we kind of expected the win to be handed to us, like it was like we didn't have to earn it, but now we know that we have to earn it this year. We're really hungry to try to beat them. We don't want to lose any games.
It's a big game for just our league, just get our confidence going for both teams. We're excited for the challenge. Our kids are hungry. We know how well we're going to have to play to beat them.
Both teams respect the other's talent.
Their athleticism and how well they're coached is always a challenge for us because they're very, very rarely, if ever, wrong, and they're just an extremely physical football team.
They got a really good D-line. I think everybody knows that. They got Landon Dean, Colin McCartney. Those guys are really good athletes.
We know they're going to be a tough team. I think we had a great summer in the weight room. I think we had a really good practice yesterday. We feel very confident right now, but there's going to be adversity when you play good teams. So we got to go through the ups and downs early.
Frontenac is hoping to pick up where they left off after a deep playoff run in 2020, while Columbus is trying to maintain dominance following an undefeated regular season.
It's all going to be just how we respond to adversity early, how well we deal with pressure situations, but we've earned the opportunity to play in a big game with our performance over the last year.
Danny Terzer, KOAM Sports.
Staying in southeast Kansas, the Pittsburgh Purple Dragons have a road game to begin the season. Pittsburgh is in Altamont this evening facing former SEK rival Labette County. That game begins at 7 o'clock. Also at 7 o'clock on the Missouri side, the Joplin Eagles have another big one tonight, hosting the Nixa Eagles. Now, Joplin is aiming for a 2-0 start. Both teams actually 1-0 coming into the night. Joplin aiming to avoid a little bit of a letdown after a big emotional win over Webb City a week ago.
That, I talked to my guys about on Saturday when we met, obviously that was, a big win for us, but this is a big game for us coming up, and I think they realized that, and that was a lesson we learned last year. So, we're obviously know that we can't have that quote unquote hangover effect, or what do you want to talk about, where we're distracted by something that happened in the past. We got to have our attention solely on Nixa and preparing for them.
Well, tonight is a big night for high school football here in the 4 states. Of course, it's week 1 in Kansas, week 2 on the Missouri side. We're going to have highlights and scores from all across the area on 4-State Friday night, tonight at 10 on KOAM. And then on our very first edition of Fox 14 Press Box, that show, 30 minutes, all high school football, begins on Fox 14 at 11 o'clock tonight. We're back with more news after this.
I'm Stephen Charles.
We take time now to honor a local veteran. Denise Greenwood served in the Navy in Iraq, her hometown, Thayer, Kansas. We're proud to recognize Denise Greenwood, tonight's 4-State hero. And remember, to learn more about other heroes or submit a hero of your own at any time, all you need to do is head over to our website. That's KOAMNewsNow.com. The players of the Pokemon Go mobile app received some good news from the game's creator this week. Rick DiMigella reports.
When COVID-19 lockdowns began in 2020, Pokemon Go developer Niantic made temporary changes to make the game more playable in the age of social distancing. But when the changes were rolled back this summer, player response was critical. In something of a rarity in the video game world, Niantic pivoted and listened to its community.
We have listened to players and heard their feedback around 2 main things, right? One, that they've really enjoyed the increased interaction radius for Pokestops and gyms in Pokemon Go. So we've decided to keep that, increased distance instead of going to the original distance that we've had for years. And the second is we've heard a lot of feedback from our players around our communication. And wanting more of that. So we've made a number of commitments on the communication front.
Which includes regular releases of information from the developer and ongoing conversations with the game's community leaders.
We do think it's very valuable to listen to our players and make sure that what we're developing is the type of game that not only serves our mission of exploration, exercise, and real-world social, but is something that players really enjoy to play.
Leveling Up in Hollywood, I'm Rick Damigella.
These games are a little bit more advanced for me. I know I'm not that old, but I'm a Super Nintendo kind of guy, so I can't keep up.
They're kind of the same boat with you, but I'm still surprised that there are a lot of people still playing Pokemon Go.
I remember when it came out. I remember law enforcement locally posting on Facebook, like, hey, watch where you're going, be careful. We had different issues 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
We have some issues possibly with the weather tonight, too.
Yeah, we're trying to hold off on any rain chances returning, the bulk of them at least, until after we get the football games finished tonight. But once we hit late tonight for sure and into Saturday, periods of rain and storms will ramp back up. Not a whole day washout, since we will have highs back near 90, but once we get these rain chances out here Sunday morning, Chris, 82 on Sunday and 87 on Labor Day.
Pretty nice looking forecast. Nick, thank you so much. That's our time for now. We'll be back here at 10. Thanks for making us part of your night.
Salon service is provided by the Wild Side in Pittsburgh.